Hello, 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 guys. Happy Friday. It's the weekend. How are you guys? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mo from Mostpark Digital, and I do help working parents and busy professionals start an online business alongside their busy life without burning out. That's what we do here. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is day 19 of our 30 days of gratitude and vision for working parents. So if you've been with me for a couple of days now, so we've been on a 30 days of gratitude because as working parents, we're always like busy. We don't have time to pause. It feels like we're on autopilot every time, right? But it is Friday today, and today our topic is being grateful for courage. Yes, we are being grateful for courage. And I think most times we don't see it as courage, as in the way social media describes courage for us. But if you've been through any difficult seasons and went through difficult seasons, you survived and you're moving on, that was courageous. Well done to you. I salute you. If you've overcome challenges anywhere, one way or the other, you are being courageous. So well done for that. And if you keep showing up day in, day out, if it's for your 9 to 5, for your business, for your family, you wake up every day, you show up, that is being courageous because we know how life is, how life can be life. And sometimes we just like lose the will to live, like, oh, I've had enough. But guess what? We wake up and keep going. That's still courageous. If I ask you a simple question, what's one thing that required courage that you need to do? Or what's one thing you've done that required courage? As I said, if one just being a mom, just being a parent, is being courageous. Well, if there's anything you've done that's been courageous that you want to share in comments, let's know, and then we can talk about it. So, as I said, we're going to pause today as parents and be grateful for being courageous. For yes, for our courage. So you know how society talk about being courageous. It's always things like maybe you took like a very massive risk or a huge risk. They're like, oh yeah, it was very that person was very courageous. Or standing on stage, talking to loads of people. Not everybody can do that, like public speaking, right? So they feel like if you can go on stage, talk to people, compose yourself, that's being courageous, or all those big dramatic moments. That's what social media tell us that is courageous. But for parents like us, courage looks different. Going to work when you're exhausted. Sometimes you wake up, you have cold, you have headache, you are tired, you have body ache and everything, but you still wake up, you look after your kids, you get the kids ready to go to school, you pick up your bag, you go to work because you don't go to work, you don't get paid. Well, for some of us that we are pay as you go. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. But then we are being courageous. We get up, we do what we need to do, we just go ahead with it. Paying bills when finances are tight, that's being courageous as well because we can decide as well, whatever, we don't have money right now, or rather than just we're not going to pay the bills, whatever will happen, but we'll still go ahead and we'll try and find a way to make it work, and we do pay our bills. That's being courageous. And then when you're going through seasons, maybe we're in our valley seasons, but we are still staying positive. You're still hoping that yes, it's going to work, things will improve, you will get better. That's being courageous. And if you ever been like you had a big setback before, like something that you feel like it's like you took one step forward and like 10 step backward. That's being courageous. Courage often looks ordinary while you're living it, right? And I used to say this thing that we live life forward, but we understand backwards. So most times when you look back, you know that yes, oh wow, I did that. I was able to survive that. I was able to go through that. That's you being courageous. So we are being grateful for courage today. Like so many times I've shared my story here that I did move miles and miles away from my country, Nigeria, over to the UK. And that's being courageous. Not because I felt brave, but I just needed, I just knew that I wanted something better. I wanted something more. I wanted to step out of my comfort zone and, give my kids and my family a better opportunity and things like that. Of course, it wasn't because I felt brave, but guess what? That was being courageous. Looking back right now, or probably it was the hormones that was stuck in there because I was heavily pregnant, and when your hormones are just high, I don't know, most times I can't make sense of things when I'm pregnant. Well, hey, who? I found myself here anyway, so that's being courageous. And then, as I said, I was heavily pregnant when I came here, starting life in a new country with like no, your family is not there, your friends are not there, new culture, new environment, and then you're bringing in brand new baby into this world. You've never had one before. So that's like, to me, that's like highest form of courage. Like, well, as I said, pregnancy hormones were raging, so I couldn't like think properly or think straight. But yes, I was here, and I know that I was being courageous. That my baby then, now she's 17, so I probably did something right if she's turned out all right. And then some of us we were probably during jobs periods of job loss that you people have lost their job, and then you still go ahead, find something else, and you start all over again. That's being courageous. Just like when I left the oil and gas industry, I had to start from scratch, train up as a data analyst, and then I started in another industry entirely different from everything I've known, right? So that's being courageous. But I'll probably say it's kind of circumstances. Well, I would say it's being courageous as well, but circumstances as well. When you know that yes, you have little kids that you need to feed, you need to put a roof over their head, you need to clothe them. As in, what are you going to do when you're out of a job? Of course, you don't have you don't have a choice. You just need to find something. So yes, starting over again is being courageous. And when you during seasons of job loss, the uncertainty, the fear, the responsibility, like, all your thoughts will be going like 1,000 miles an hour. How will I do this? What will I do? How will I pay these bills? How will I help this child? How can I go on this school trip? Blah, blah, blah. You just keep thinking that how are you going to do it? How are you going to make it work? And things like that. But then at that time when you're going through all those seasons, we never feel courageous. Because when I was going through that, I wasn't feeling courageous at all. I was feeling scared. I felt so scared that Lord, what's going to happen to me now? Am I going to go back to my home country, or as in, how am I even going to survive? So when I look back, I wasn't feeling courageous then. As in, at that point in time, I wasn't feeling courageous. But looking back right now, that I did survive that season, that's being courageous. So I realized courage is always present in most of the steps that we take. Courage often reveals itself in hindsight. And as I say, we live life forward, we understand it backwards. So when we look back, we know, oh, yes, we were being courageous. Then most of us, we let fear most of the time we let fear hold us back from so many things that we want to do. Fear, well, it's not like it's gone completely. Fear will always be a part of life. Is a natural thing, because fear is telling you that you're doing something you've not done before. You're moving out of your comfort zone, or you're trying something that because your body hasn't experienced that before. Your brain doesn't understand how to process that. So it feels like, oh, they are running into danger zone. Be careful and things like that. So fear is always present all the time. It's just the way we process it, the way we channel it, what we do with the fear. That's what matters. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mo from Mospark Digital, and I help working parents and busy professionals start an online business around their life without burning out. That's what I do. But today we are on a 30 days 30 days journey of gratitude and vision for working parents. And day 19 today we are talking about being grateful for courage. And as parents, we are the courageous ones, because we do so many things that we feel like is normal, but when you look back, you know that it's being courageous. Not everybody has the courage to do what we do as parents, but we go ahead and do it anyway. So as I said, most of the time we let fear hold us back. Fear of so many things, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what people will say, fear of starting over, fear of change and all those kind of things. We allow it to hold us back from moving into our dreams, from achieving our goals, from doing the things that we really want to do. But let me ask you one question. What would you attempt to do if you know that failure wasn't an option? What would you attempt to do? If you don't mind sharing in the comments, I would love to know. What would you attempt to do if failure wasn't an option? That if you know that you couldn't fail at all, what would you do? And if you answer that question, Now ask yourself, what's stopping you from doing it? What exactly is stopping you from doing it? If you know that failure is not an option, what exactly is stopping you? So another what I will talk about is a few years ago, one area I knew I needed courage was when I was looking for exploring new possibilities, looking for options for myself and my family, looking for something I could do, that could earn extra income so that I'm not depending only on one source of income. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. So when I was looking for something, exploring new possibilities for my future. And not because life was terrible, but well, life has had its ups and downs, and I had those seasons of job loss back and forth here and there. And that season taught me that I can't just watch and keep all my eggs in one basket. I need to look for other options to be able to create more flexibility, more breathing room, to be able to spend more time with the ones I love and focus on things that matter. And not like waking up and having this panic attack like, if I go to work today, what's going to happen? Am I going to get to the office? I'm going to tell me then that, no, sorry, unfortunately, we can't keep it on or things like that. When you've been through seasons like that, it's like over and over, sometimes it just like you'll be like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen when you get to the office, right? And sometimes that plays on your mind and it gives you panic. When it's like Sunday night, you're like, oh, Lord, I'm going to work again on Monday morning. What am I going to meet? You don't know what's going to happen. So those are one of the reasons why I started this online business, because I wanted flexibility, I wanted breathing room, and I wanted options, and I also wanted control over my future. So I know that there's a plan in place. I'm not just thinking and hoping that things will work itself out without doing anything, which is why I started this business. As I said, I had my questions, I had loads of questions, I had doubts, I had concerns, I was skeptical, I was scared, all those things. But courage isn't waiting until fear disappears, right? It won't wait. Courage is not waiting for fear to disappear, because fear doesn't go. It's always like a part of you. You just need to learn to navigate it, because it's all about taking the next step despite being afraid. I'm sure you've heard this thing where people say that, oh, I did this thing even while I was afraid. That was my story. When I started this online business, I was afraid. I was so scared, but I went ahead and did it anyway. Because you've been pushed to the wall. And when you've been pushed to the wall, there's no way else to go. You have to turn back, right? Because you are pushed to the wall completely. So there's no way else to go. So I didn't have a choice. I'm like, well, I need to try something in something I haven't done before. I've done 9 to 5 over 20 years. I've been there. I've done that, different companies, different bosses, different sector. It's all the same thing. It's all the same stories, all the same excuse, as in nothing different at all. It's just a different name. Is it well, just different companies and different names. But they all work the same because they are companies. They don't have our names on it. Anything can happen at any point in time. So that's why I decided that, well, I'm just going to step out of my comfort zone and try this online business. So, and it's been amazing. When they say that you are building a business, but in my case, the business was building me, because I learned so many skills that I never even thought I was able to learn. I was growing in confidence. As if you know me 2 years ago, you will never catch me doing something like this. Never ever. I cannot, for the life of me, talk to the camera. I cannot. It feels like I'm about to die. As in, I don't like showing my face. I'm one of those people that, behind the scenes, just watching people's life go, things like that. I'm like that. So, but learning new skills, this business have given me confidence. I've learned new skill. I've met so many amazing people worldwide in my business community. Oh my gosh, there's so many amazing people. They're really very helpful. They are supportive. So I've met loads of people, and then I'm building something alongside my 9 to 5. So I know that if tomorrow my company decides to say, oh, sorry, Mo, we're not able to afford you. Unfortunately, we have to let you go. I've got something on the side. I wouldn't have to panic or worry that how am I going to pay my bills, because I'm already building something. So, which is why I'm extending this invitation to you. If you're a working parent, you've got kids that you are looking after, because when you have kids that you're looking after, people that you're responsible for, whatever decision you make always have an effect on them. right? So if you're out there and you're working parents, just doing your 9 to 5, all your eggs is in one basket. I'm imploring you to check out starting an online business. I'm imploring you to check it out because so that you can have another source of income stream. There's nothing bad in having an extra income. There's nothing bad in having extra source of income because you know that extra £200, extra £500 at the end of every month will go a very long way to help working families because we know the cost of living crisis. We are in that anyway. Things are expensive, prices are going up, but salary is not going up; it's still the same. But everything is very expensive these days. And I'm particularly excited for you to start your business in this month of June because one of the companies we partner with is celebrating their 52 years in business this year, this month, yeah, this year anyway. And there's a promo this year for that celebration. Can you imagine 52 years in business? So you know that that company is not a new kid on the block, not those that just started today and then tomorrow they are gone, gone, gone. No, they are not. So they're not a new kid on the block. And this promo, they are making people start. But if you get started this month of June, you start at a bonus level that took me a whole year to get to. I wish I had this opportunity when I started my own business because if it took me a whole year to get to this bonus level, imagine if I had that. I don't know where I would have been right now because that just accelerates your journey. It makes your journey faster. It makes you go quicker in the business. So if you're out there and thinking of starting an online business, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? If you are still on the fence, just ask questions. Drop info in the comments or send me a DM. I'll explain to you how the business works, and then you can check it out. I'll lay it all out before you. You check out the free webinar. You check out all the free information, and you see if it's something that resonates with you. If it's something that you think you can do. If yes, fine. If no, it's still good because what you give yourself the opportunity to check it out, and you have much more knowledge than you have now. You have more knowledge than you had before you asked the question, right? So just check out the info, send me a DM or drop info in the comments, and I'll reach out to you with all the information that you need. And as I keep saying, timing matters. This month of June is a great time to get started with your online business if it's something you've been thinking about or you've been looking out for. And as I said, this business is what we do here is just partner with global companies. We use automation and we learn digital skills, right? That's what we do to operate the business. And you help people get started as well in the business journey. You become mentors, you become coaches, you unlock different levels of income, different levels of income stream as you grow in the business. It's just an amazing business. And as I keep saying, this business is not for everybody. If you are looking for quick money, then this is not for you. But if you are looking for something that is legitimate, that you can build over time, that can sustain you, that can eventually replace your 9 to 5, then this business is for you. Well, that's all for me today. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of our 30 days gratitude and vision for working parents. As I said, today's topic is being grateful for courage, for everything we've been through, for everything we've survived as parents. We are really grateful for the courage that we've been able to go through, as in the courage to survive. To survive is wake up the next morning and keep going. Wake up the next morning and keep moving. For all these challenges, everything we've survived, we are really, really grateful for that. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again tomorrow on day 20. On day 20. And finally, if you're out there and interested in starting an online business, send me a DM, drop info in the comments, and I will reach out to you to give you all the information that you need to get started with. And if you've got any questions, please ask. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely Friday. And I'll see you again same time. Well, maybe not same time tomorrow, but I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Bye.